When we buy a toy for our children, we need to remember that toys are the tools children need and use in order to communicate with the world, to understand what happens around them, to get to know themselves better, and to improve and develop skills. Toys are not just things to entertain our kids. It's so much more than that. So it's very important that we choose the right toys. It doesn't matter what the child does. We're always learning. No, it doesn't matter what we do. No matter what we do, we're always learning, especially children, because they're like sponges, as we all know, and they absorb everything that happens around them. And they'll be learning no matter what. But the question we need to ask ourselves is, what do we want them to learn? And it will be by the toys we buy them and the experiences we provide them that they will learn one thing or another. It is during these first years where they develop most of their skills. We're not born with skills. We learn skills as we go through life, and the more experiences we have, the more skilled we'll be, the more confident. And once we're confident, then we can do anything and we can learn anything. But we need to be confident, and confidence is a skill, and we need to practice that skill by falling and getting back up, and falling again and getting back up, and becoming stronger and more resilient. And toys have that power. Toys are so powerful. There are three important things that I think are very important in order to choose the right toy for your child. The first thing is safety, obviously. Just make sure they're safe and age appropriate. We have the safety age and the recommended age. Safety age, as if some toys might have small parts, so they might not be appropriate for small kids, as they might put them in their mouth and they can become a hazard. So that'd be the safety. But then recommended age would be based on their development. So that can give you a rough idea of what can work for your child, but it will depend on the child and their level of skills, as they all develop at different rhythms and times. So that's one. The second one is to know your child's needs and interests. So if a child has interest in construction, the needs would be something that the child likes and shows more interest and is more curious about. So we try to connect the toy with the child by providing something that's interesting for your child, because if a child has absolutely no interest in airplanes and you get them an airplane, they might not play with it. So it's just an example, but just observe your child and see what they like, what they show curiosity. If they're playing around and they stop to look at something that's caught their eye and that caught their attention, so have a look at what it is, and maybe you can find some toys that are related to that. And the other thing are the interests. So the interest and then the need. So does your child struggle to express emotions or to ask for things, or with their confidence, and if there's something your child struggles with, or to understand anything that they're learning in school, you can buy toys that support and help them develop those skills, like to communicate better or to express their emotions, to understand emotions. Emotional well-being is something that can be taught to children through play at a very young age, and they will definitely thank you as adults, because the earlier we start naming, understanding and expressing our emotions, the more resilient, confident and independent and happy we will be. And the last thing when choosing a toy that I think is very important is that they're open-ended. And open-ended means that the end is open. So there's so many different ways to use that toy. And how do we know what way we should use them if there are so many different ways? It'll depend on our imagination, creativity, problem solving. It'll depend on each child. And that's good also for sharing toys between siblings, because then they can share those toys and each child will use them in a different way, but they'll be suitable for all ages and all kids to play together or individually, but it'll encourage children to use their imagination, curiosity and many other skills in order for that toy to have a purpose and to work with the child.